quarterback. I know a lot of times a running quarterback will get kind of pigeonholed as simply a running quarterback. He's not that. He can throw the football, and that's why he is a pro prospect. But certainly something that Corey Batoon and the South Alabama defensive staff, they have to have an eye on him every play. They got to know where he is because he can bust out of a pocket. And
it runs through him, and a lot
absolutely.
of RPO you'll see here eventually.
How he goes, how the Alcorn offense goes. So, it'll be interesting to see him play, but certainly not the traditional sit back and fire away. He can do that, but he can also hurt you with your legs for sure.
We're waiting on lights to come back on. Here's good news. Have you ever been at a stadium, say, more than 7 or 8 years ago and had a situation like this and lights would come on, Pat? You and I remember this. You still had to wait for lights to warm up.
Right.
The old sodium lights, I think they call them, real high candle power, and you really don't get the full power to play until like 10, 15 minutes later. These are actually the LED variety. We're being updated. These are LEDs, so when they're on. They'll be at full power, and we should be able to kick off almost the exact same time as soon as we can get these guys. Now, obviously, just to think about, you've gone through your pregame warm-ups here, Pat. You've gone through everything in the tunnel, in the locker room. You come back out. You want to still be warmed up. You still want to be stretched and limber. So you don't want to be standing around too long.
Right, but, if you're South Alabama, yeah, absolutely. But Alcorn's got to do the same thing. Across the way, Alcorn is the quarterback's throwing a little bit. But look at the fans, though. The fans don't have a problem with it. They're just going to dance a little bit, wait, have some fun, and enjoy the show. That's a look at the student section, which has been phenomenal. Was phenomenal in that Southern Mississippi game in the season opener. And they came out in full force tonight as well. Hancock Whitney Stadium seats a tad over 25,000.
They dressed that guy out. Got in the gray shirt. Looks like he could play right now. Get him down there. We talked with Major Applewhite, offensive coordinator at South Alabama. Talking about Alcorn, and he had a lot of respect for the Braves out of the FCS ranks and said historically have played very good defense. And he should know, and he's probably often reminded of it, because one of his quality control guys was a former coach at Alcorn State. This is a team and a program that he highly respects. He says they play aggressive, defensively in the secondary, play more zone than man, even fronts, and went 9-4 2 years ago. That's something you really got to respect coming into Game 3, because a lot is on the line for this Jaguar program.
Well, and the thing that Alcorn does defensively very well is that they play a lot of base, play a lot of vanilla stuff early, and then they turn the pressure on as the game goes. They want to see what you're going to do and then start making adjustments to what you're going to do. And that's that can be tough to go against offensively. If you know, here's what they're doing in the first quarter, and then they start turning up the pressure in the second, third, and fourth. And that's what Alcorn wants to do, is create some pressure on South Alabama. And anytime you're an FCS playing an FBS, all you want to do is get to the fourth quarter and have a shot. If you're in the fourth quarter and you have a shot, then it doesn't matter what level you're playing, it doesn't matter what their record is, doesn't matter what your record is. All of a sudden, now it's just, let's play football 11 on 11. And that smaller FCS team can all of a sudden play with the big boys. And we've seen that in several occasions, even this season so far, when an FCS beats an FBS. If you can hang around to the fourth quarter, you've got a shot. And that's exactly what Alcorn wants to do. Now, flip side for South Alabama, you want to put this one away early. You want to be able to get off to a good lead. You want to be able to shut any hope of that down. But it'll be interesting. Alcorn is not a team that's going to lay down easily and say, we're just here for the paycheck.
J.D. Byers, Pat Greenwood, our ESPN crew. We're waiting for stadium lights to come back on at Hancock Whitney Stadium. Pat, you sure this isn't a conspiracy? Because there's a lot of beer vendors here. They're like, yeah, take your time.
This is true. This is true.
We're good. Just get this right, and we'll continue to sell patrons a lot of liquid refreshment and enjoyment until you get this thing kicked off.
Well, you see those umbrellas just beyond the end zone. That is the Michelob Ultra Terrace. There's actually a beer garden in the end zone. So standing room only in those places. You can just nestle up right behind the goalposts, drink a beer, watch the game. So the beer vendors have no problem with the light delay.
They were telling us